This is Late Night Health. I'm Mark Alyn. As you're listening to this, I'm participating in the Global Influence Summit, and the creator of that is Charmaine Hammond, and she is our guest. Charmaine is an expert in team building, communication, and leadership. She's an excellent speaker, and she has a book out called GPS, Get Positioned for Success, something we have not said yet. And she's going to share some tips with us to help people get back off their derrieres and back out into life. I asked you, why do you think bad things have to happen? Things are going along, Charmaine, at a steady clip. Everything's good, and all of a sudden something just terrible happens. Why?
I know. Life does throw us curveballs. That's so true. I met a little grade three student in a presentation where my dog Toby and I were talking about kindness, and that question came up in this auditorium of kids, and a little boy in the front row, grade 3, put his hand up to answer it, and he said, "I think bad things happen to good people so that we become even better people."
Whoa, from the mouths of babes.
Grade 3! So I just thought that was an interesting perspective to share. You know, one of the mentors I love is James T. Reese, and he was a former FBI profiler, high-stress job, and he did a lot of teaching on stress management. And I remember him quoting that sometimes the way we see the problem is actually the problem. And James gave examples of where people had been, in a car accident, or when they had their bank account frauded or something. Really, really tragic things happen. And it was fascinating to listen to him, because he said some people saw it as a tragedy and some people saw it as a situation they simply needed to move through. And the learning for me in listening to that is that how we see a situation, how we create a perspective around it, really shapes how we cope with it. Do we stay stuck, or do we deal with the initial drama and upset and then move through it? Our perspective and our mindset really, really shapes how we cope.
In your experience, what percentage of people are stuck? Is it half?
I don't know what the number would be. And you know, what's interesting is everybody has their own perspective of stuck. Some people would describe stuck as I'm having a bad day, and other people describe it where I actually feel that I'm paralyzed. I can't move forward. I can't take a step. I know, though, from workplaces I visit and conferences I speak at, that I hear a lot of people feeling like they're stuck. And then I've also asked them, what helps you feel unstuck? And it's amazing to see when we can just change the conversation from being stuck to being moving forward. That, again, that perspective of what we think about shapes how we then deal with the situation. So our language is really critical, the language that we use with ourselves and the language we use to describe our situation. But I would agree with you. Lots of people are feeling stuck, and sometimes that stuckness happens because I'll give you an example. One individual I was talking to said, I just don't feel like I'm getting to where I want to be. And I said, well, where did you want to be? And they said, well, I'm not really sure. And the lesson for me was sometimes we're not clear on what it is that we want to have happen in our life. We just know it's not feeling good where we are right now. So creating that clarity can really help move us forward and help us get unstuck.
We're all looking, or many people are looking, to get unstuck. And there are many ways of doing it. Is the GPS system, is that a way of doing it that would allow people to easily overcome their situations, to give them step-by-step guidance to say, okay, I'm out of work. I've been out of work for 6 years. I'm broke. I don't have any money. I'm almost living on the street. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Or there's been a serious illness or death. How do people turn that GPS on and get that roadmap going? It
really starts with a decision, and that can be the hard part for people, but deciding that where I am now is not where I want to stay. So therefore, I need to do something different. I need to feel different. So making that conscious decision to change is a big step and an important one, because from there, everything else can move forward. And when we wrote GPS Your Best Life, we started off with a number of little daily activities that people could do around changing their mindset, around setting mini goals for the day. A lot of times when we're feeling stuck, I'll give you an example. Working with one workplace, they were under a lot of stress and pressure. And we were talking about to-do lists, which is something that a lot of people use because it helps us feel in control and organized. But interestingly enough, the more stressed out we are, the bigger the to-do list seems to get. And I was talking to these individuals about their to-do list, and they were just wanting to get through the day. That was their primary goal. Yet their to-do list was things like renovate the house,
and deal with contractors. Oh, my.
So, they were wanting to get through the day, yet, the expectations they were placing on themselves were so huge. So part of what we talk about is lowering the expectations so that we can actually have some success immediately.
We are out of time, but you'll come back. I know you will. Charmaine Hammond has been our guest. GPS Your Best Life, Charmaine Hammond and Deborah Kawasowski, right?
Kawasowski, you got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want more information on Charmaine, the easiest thing, go to latenighthealth.com, and you'll be able to see her picture and everything else. All right, we got to get out of here so we can get some work done, and then we will be back just a couple of moments and talk about not to clear your throat.